Have you ever wondered who holds the most important place in Graham Norton's heart? For years, fans have followed his career, laughed at his sharp humor, and admired his charm on television. But behind the laughter, there's a deeply personal side of Norton that very few know about. He has kept parts of his love life private, letting only glimpses show through interviews and public appearances. Keep watching as we uncover who Graham Norton confesses was the love of his life.
Do you recognize that man? Do you know what was going on in Charlie Sheen's head back then?
Recognize him by name, not by character. It's very. You know what the shame shivers are?
Sort of. I think I can imagine what they are. Yeah.
Early life and path into entertainment. Graham Norton grew up moving between small towns in Ireland, which shaped the way he views people and places. He was born Graham William Walker on April 4, 1963, in Clondalkin, a suburb of Dublin, but his family did not stay there long. His father's work meant the family relocated several times. They spent stretches in Tramore, Waterford, and Kilkenny before settling in Bandon, County Cork. That patchwork childhood left him with an easy way of reading a room and a taste for stories about ordinary lives. School was a mix of ordinary and awkward. Norton attended Bandon Grammar School, and later he enrolled at University College Cork to study English and French. He did not finish his degree. In his 20s, he had a hard time that included a period where he withdrew from studies and struggled mentally. He has spoken about that phase in interviews and later received an honorary doctorate from UCC. Those years taught him to rely on wit and performance as a way of coping and connecting. In the early 1980s, Norton drifted a little, in the best way for a performer. He spent time in San Francisco, where he lived in a communal house and worked as a waiter. The move away from Ireland gave him space to experiment and to figure out which part of performance suited him. Returning to the UK, he headed for London and enrolled at the Central School of Speech and Drama. He took jobs as a waiter while he trained, a pattern that would repeat: work for money by day, test material, and grow craft by night. Choosing a stage name was practical. When he joined Equity, there was already an actor called Graham Walker, so he adopted Norton, his great-grandmother's maiden name, as his professional surname. Stand-up came next, but it did not arrive fully formed. Norton's early comedy leaned on character pieces and theatrical ideas as much as on one-liners. One of his breakthrough fringe moments was a drag act at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, where he performed as a tea-towel-clad Mother Teresa. The sketch pushed boundaries and caught attention because it mixed shock with heart. That kind of risk-taking, taking a surprising idea and committing to it, became a constant in his work. It also helped him land spots on radio and small TV shows in the 1990s, where his fast comic timing and knack for conversation started to stand out. Television work came in pieces at first. He did stand-in hosting for late-night shows and tried several formats, including a comic quiz show on Channel 5 and some late-night panel shows. Those gigs were not huge hits on their own, but they let him practice steering conversations and handling unpredictable guests, skills that would later make him a natural chat show host. Around the same time, he had a small acting role that gave him visibility. Father Noel Furlong in the sitcom Father Ted. The role was short, but the show was widely watched, and the part left a mark. Slowly, the industry began to see him less as a bit player and more as someone who could run a show and make celebrity guests relax and reveal things in a funny way. There were rough patches, too. In 1989, Norton survived a violent mugging in London that nearly cost him his life. He lost a lot of blood and spent time in hospital. That kind of shock can change a person's priorities, and for him, it reinforced a sense of urgency and a focus on work that felt worthwhile. He threw himself into performance and broadcasting, moving between stand-up rooms, radio studios, and early TV slots. These years sharpened his instincts: when to push a joke, when to listen, when to let silence do the work. The late 1990s were a turning point. Norton found a format that suited him: the comic chat show that mixed interviews, sketches, and audience interaction. Shows like So Graham Norton gave him a chance to blend sharp, often risque humor with genuine curiosity about guests. He kept the pace fast, the rehooks unexpected, and the tone loose enough that famous people felt they could drop their guard. That approach worked on Channel 4 and later on the BBC, where The Graham Norton Show became a long-running and award-winning program. The show's success owed as much to the format as to Norton's skill at reading what the audience wanted: a mix of laughs, small confessions, and live moments that could not be scripted. Beyond the studio, Norton built other parts of a media life. He moved into radio, hosted shows on BBC Radio 2, and branched into writing fiction and nonfiction. His books let him exercise a quieter, more controlled voice than the one he uses on TV. The combination of live performance skills, a sharp ear for conversation, and a willingness to try different media made him more than a chat show host. It made him a versatile broadcaster who could carry a show, a radio slot, or a novel. What ties Norton's early years together is a steady tightening of craft. He learned in small theaters and late-night rooms how to hold attention, how to make a joke land, and how to keep a live audience feeling involved. Moving from Ireland to London forced him to build a public self that could be read quickly and enjoyed by diverse crowds. Hard times, personal setbacks, near-death violence, the uncertainty of early jobs pushed him to keep practicing, to treat every small gig as material for a larger career. By the time he was hosting his own shows, those early lessons were visible: quick set-up jokes, generous reactions to guests, and a habit of turning unexpected moments into television gold. That path, from small-town Ireland to drama school to fringe theatre to national TV, explains why Norton's voice feels familiar, yet fresh. He did not explode overnight. He worked through marginal jobs and odd roles, learning how to listen as much as how to speak. The result is a host who can make a room laugh and also make people feel seen. For viewers, that mix is the reason his early life and first years in entertainment read like a steady climb rather than a single big break. Rise to television success and career milestones. Graham Norton's rise to television success was gradual but deliberate, built on years of honing his craft in comedy and live performance. His first notable exposure came through small TV appearances in the 1990s, where he experimented with formats and found his voice as a witty, quick-thinking host. Early on, he appeared on shows such as Father Ted in 1995, taking on the role of Father Noel Furlong. Although brief, the role introduced him to a national audience and demonstrated his ability to create memorable, humorous characters in limited screen time. Around the same period, he also made appearances on radio and smaller TV chat shows, building the kind of improvisational skill that would later become his trademark. Norton's major breakthrough came in 1998 with So Graham Norton, a late-night Channel 4 show that combined celebrity interviews, live audience interaction, and comedy sketches. The format was fresh for the time. Instead of strictly formal interviews, Norton encouraged guests to share unusual stories, participate in games, and react spontaneously to the audience. This approach broke the mold of traditional chat shows and quickly earned him critical attention. The show's blend of risque humor and genuine curiosity about guests set the foundation for his long-term appeal. It was here that viewers first saw his skill at balancing comedy with empathy, drawing laughter while making guests feel comfortable enough to reveal personal insights. During the early 2000s, Norton continued to expand his television presence. So, Graham Norton evolved, moving to BBC Two as V. Graham Norton, and later back to Channel 4. Each iteration refined the format, focusing on faster pacing, more audience involvement, and memorable comedic segments that became recurring features. It was also during this period that he began to receive major industry recognition, including multiple British Comedy Awards. His ability to adapt to the changing demands of live television while keeping his humor sharp allowed him to stand out among other hosts of the era. By 2007, Norton launched The Graham Norton Show on BBC One, a move that would cement his status as one of Britain's most prominent television personalities. This show combined elements of his earlier work, but with higher production value and broader reach. Guests ranged from international movie stars to global musicians, and his distinctive style, mixing humor, insightful questions, and unexpected interactions, made the show consistently engaging. A hallmark of the program became its live audience segments, where games, audience participation, and unexpected comedic moments created viral highlights. The format allowed celebrities to relax, sometimes revealing sides of themselves rarely seen elsewhere. Alongside The Graham Norton Show, he diversified his television career with other projects. Norton hosted The £1 Million Drop, a game show that challenged contestants with high-stakes questions, and he appeared as a judge on various talent and entertainment competitions. His voice became familiar on radio as well, particularly with BBC Radio 2, where he hosted programs that let him explore a different side of his personality, more intimate and less structured than television. Norton also dabbled in presenting documentaries, showing his ability to handle subjects beyond comedy and entertainment, further broadening his professional range. Norton's career milestones are not limited to the UK. He became one of the few British hosts to consistently attract international attention, especially in the United States, where The Graham Norton Show gained popularity on PBS and BBC America. The show's format, sharp, irreverent, and unpredictable, translated well across cultural lines. He also received several BAFTA awards for Best Entertainment Performance, underscoring both industry respect and popular approval. In addition, he has been a frequent host for high-profile events, including the BAFTA Awards, the Oscars Red Carpet, and charity specials, demonstrating trust from both industry insiders and audiences worldwide. His versatility also extends to scripted work and writing. Norton has written novels and memoirs which showcase his humor in a different medium and highlight his ability to engage an audience without relying on live performance. These projects not only expanded his creative footprint, but also reinforced his image as a multifaceted entertainer rather than a single-format TV host. He approached writing with the same attention to timing, character, and voice that informs his on-screen work, creating content that resonates with readers familiar with his comedic style. Throughout his career, Norton has consistently evolved while maintaining the core traits that define him: a quick wit, empathy toward his guests, and a knack for turning ordinary interactions into memorable moments. He has survived early setbacks, such as minor flops in TV hosting and live performance mishaps, by refining his approach and staying responsive to audience feedback. That adaptability, combined with his unique blend of humor and warmth, has allowed him to remain a leading figure in television for over 2 decades. What stands out most about Norton's rise is the balance between preparation and spontaneity. Each milestone, early radio spots, his initial Channel 4 show, the shift to BBC One, international recognition, was the result of careful effort, but his charm comes from the perception that anything could happen on his show. That combination of professionalism and unpredictability has defined his career and ensured that he remains relevant and beloved in a constantly changing entertainment landscape. By the late 2000s, Norton's achievements included over 15 years of The Graham Norton Show, multiple awards, international syndication, radio programs, best-selling books, and frequent invitations to host major events. He became more than just a TV host. He became a brand, known for elevating the chat show format and creating moments that are remembered long after they air. His trajectory shows that consistent effort, willingness to take risks, and a clear understanding of one's strengths can turn early experimentation and small roles into a lasting, influential career in entertainment. Struggles, setbacks, and personal turning points. Graham Norton's career and life have not been without challenges. Behind the humor and the polished television persona, he has faced periods of uncertainty, personal struggles, and professional setbacks that shaped both his outlook and his approach to entertainment. Early in life, Norton struggled with identity and mental health. Growing up in Ireland, moving between towns, and attending multiple schools left him feeling like an outsider at times. He has spoken in interviews about periods of depression and social anxiety during his youth, struggles that often left him questioning his path and abilities. These experiences forced him to rely on humor and performance as coping mechanisms, a skill that would later define his professional persona. When Norton moved to London to train at the Central School of Speech and Drama, life became a balancing act of survival and ambition. He took menial jobs, such as waiting tables, while pursuing drama, often facing financial strain and the uncertainty of freelance work. Like many aspiring performers, he experienced rejection regularly, whether in auditions, fringe theater performances, or small television appearances. Each rejection was a test of resilience, but he learned early on that persistence and experimentation were essential. The unpredictable nature of the entertainment industry taught him how to adapt quickly, refine his craft, and find opportunities in unlikely places. A pivotal and traumatic event occurred in 1989, when Norton was violently mugged in London. The attack left him hospitalized and facing a life-threatening situation. Surviving the incident shifted his perspective on life, work, and personal priorities. It strengthened his resolve to pursue a career that brought fulfillment and allowed him to connect with people. The experience also gave him a sharper sense of timing and an understanding of how fragile circumstances can be, which translated into the urgency and presence he brings to his performances and hosting. Professional setbacks were also part of Norton's journey. Some of his early television experiments failed to gain traction or were cancelled after short runs. Shows like So Graham Norton in its first iteration had modest ratings, and the risk-taking style that later defined his career initially caused skepticism among networks. Critics sometimes questioned whether his humor and style could sustain a mainstream audience. These setbacks required Norton to reassess, adapt, and refine the balance between edgy comedy and approachable entertainment. He gradually learned to read audiences more intuitively and structure shows in ways that allowed celebrity guests to relax while still producing memorable, funny moments. Another personal challenge was navigating life as a gay man in a public sphere during a time when acceptance in the media industry was more limited. Norton has discussed the difficulties of being open about his sexuality early in his career and the potential impact on job prospects and public perception. Despite this, he maintained authenticity, allowing his personality and comedic skill to define him rather than suppressing who he was. Over time, this openness became a strength, helping him connect with a wide audience and become a role model for authenticity in media. Health challenges also played a role in shaping his career. Norton has mentioned struggles with anxiety, particularly in his early years of live performance and television hosting. Handling live audiences, unpredictable guests, and the constant scrutiny of television required him to develop coping mechanisms, including preparation, mental focus, and a reliance on humor as a buffer. These challenges made him sharper, more observant, and highly skilled at turning unexpected situations into moments of entertainment rather than stress. Despite these struggles, Norton's career contains clear turning points that propelled him forward. Landing, so Graham Norton, gave him a platform to experiment and build confidence in his hosting abilities. His move to BBC One with The Graham Norton Show marked a significant professional turning point, offering stability, wider recognition, and international exposure. Each milestone was the product of trial and error, showing that success often followed periods of risk, failure, and learning. These experiences taught Norton the value of resilience, adaptability, and patience. Norton's personal life also informed his professional journey. He has spoken about the importance of friendships and supportive colleagues in navigating setbacks. Surrounding himself with people who offered honest feedback and encouragement helped him refine his skills and stay motivated during periods of uncertainty. These relationships, along with his natural curiosity and empathy, shaped the conversational style that would eventually make his shows compelling to audiences. His personal life and search for long-term love. Graham Norton's personal life has often been as carefully observed as his professional one, though he has always maintained a level of privacy that allows him to separate his public persona from his private world. Unlike the spontaneous and often chaotic energy he displays on television, his personal life reflects thoughtfulness, discretion, and a desire for stability. Over the years, he has spoken openly about his experiences as a gay man navigating both social expectations and the pressures of a high-profile career. For Norton, being honest about his identity has been a long journey, shaped by both self-discovery and the changing social climate around him. For many years, Norton focused on his career and building his reputation in the entertainment industry. The demands of live television, writing, and radio left little room for sustained romantic relationships, and early experiences taught him the importance of balance and timing. In interviews, he has acknowledged that dating in the public eye comes with complications. Relationships can be scrutinized, rumors can spread, and privacy is hard to protect. This reality led him to be cautious about whom he allowed into his personal life, preferring connections built on trust, shared values, and genuine compatibility rather than public attention. Norton has been candid about the challenges of finding a long-term partner. Like many in high-profile careers, he has had relationships that did not last, often due to timing, differing life priorities, or the pressures of public exposure. Despite these difficulties, he maintained a positive outlook, emphasizing the importance of patience and self-awareness. He has also spoken about the significance of friends and support networks in helping him navigate the ups and downs of personal relationships, showing that love and companionship extend beyond romantic partnerships. Travel and work have played a role in his search for lasting love. Living between London and other locations for projects, plus long periods spent filming, meant that traditional dating routines were difficult to maintain. Nevertheless, Norton's openness and warm personality made him a trusted friend and confidant to many, which often led to deep, meaningful relationships that went beyond the casual or superficial. Over time, these experiences shaped his understanding of what he truly valued in a partner: honesty, humor, shared interests, and the ability to enjoy life together without undue pressure or expectation. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Graham Norton's life and love, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more stories like this. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an update, and drop a comment below sharing your thoughts. Who do you think surprised him the most?